We cannot be ignorant of the enemy's devices. Once you recognize that you're under the attack of the enemy, that's when you'll learn how to respond properly. A spiritual attack is an organized and intentional plan and strategy that the enemy has enacted on you by way of his demons and principalities and forces of darkness.
First of all, that's a lie, because you give the authority for an enemy to attack you. It's just like self-sabotaging. You subconsciously want these things to happen in your life. You don't feel as if you deserve them, and so you expect negative things to happen in your life, and therefore it happens. So ultimately, what I'm getting at is this: you are the author for these negative and principalities and everything that happen in your life. You. It ain't nothing outside of you looking for the demon and devil outside of you. You are the demon and the devil that's attacking you.
For you, just because you're under spiritual attack doesn't mean that you're spiritually out of alignment.
So your spiritual alignment ultimately depends on where you trying to be at spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So you saying, oh, because you're under attack. First of all, you only under attack because your subconscious mind is attacking it. You know, it's a war within yourself, right? Where's the other wars at? On the block, the U.S. war. So it's no other entity outside of you that's attacking you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you are your worst enemy. You cannot see your attacker because you are the attacker.
Many times the enemy will attack what threatens him.
So many times the enemy will attack what threatens him, fam. Don't you keep friends around that feel like you are a threat? You feel what I'm saying? And they will attack you based off of, where you going in life or how successful you see yourself. So basically what I'm getting at is this: when you don't feel like you are, when you don't feel like you worthy of success, you're going to keep people around that think the same thing. Birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? So if the enemy attack you, quote unquote, through people, right, it's because subconsciously you feel like you don't deserve to be around people who are successful because you are not like-minded. You see what I'm saying? So basically you subconsciously attacking your motherfucking self because you feel like you a threat.
Number one is that you just don't feel like you're yourself. This could be something as simple as mental fog, confusion, just feeling off.
Okay, watch this. So tell me, how many days of the week do you feel like you own? Right? When you go to work, don't that feel like you off and you confused on why you doing this shit? So it says 10 to 15%, Google it, of people know themselves, right? Or are consciously aware of what's going on. So you telling me, right, each and every person in this chat know themselves, right? They know themselves. And all of a sudden today, you just don't feel like you know yourself. You just don't know yourself today. Is you serious right now? Most of y'all don't know yourselves, right? You go on the internet to find yourself. Why do you think people take retreats to go find themselves? Because most people do not know themselves. So you're not going to tell me this entire time in life, you haven't been walking through fog. You have been. You know what I'm saying? It's a way around it, but only 10 to 15% of people are. So 1 out of 10 motherfuckers is going to know themselves. You telling me everybody in your chat knew themselves, and today they feel like they don't know themselves because they under spiritual attack. They feel the fog and they just don't know what to do. Most people have midlife crisis all the time. You telling me most of them people knew themselves, and when they had the midlife crisis, they just didn't know. They didn't know themselves this entire time. You know what I'm saying? Black people in general, right, do not know themselves. They don't know their history. This is why most of them struggle and all type of you know what I'm saying? So you're not finna get up here and basically what I'm saying is assume or insinuate that everybody knew themselves, and just today when you feeling fog and froggy, you just don't know who you are. Stop it, ma'am.
That's why we're encouraged to not grow weary in well-doing, because we are going to reap a harvest if we don't give up. And so if the enemy is bringing you to a place of intense weariness and you just don't feel that same gumption, you don't have that same sense of energy and drive and sense of purpose, that could be a sign that you're under spiritual attack.
Or it could be a sign that you're not confident within yourself. You see what I'm saying? It don't always got to be a spiritual attack. You could be subconsciously attacking yourself. You feel me? Because people fear success. I told you this multiple times. You're not gonna blame it on some outside entity that, you know what I'm saying? Stop blaming the devil and demons for everything that you do in life. These are ultimately your decisions. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in a predicament where somebody could offer you some type of idea that can alter your or change your reality. You know what I'm saying? So stop trying to blame the devil for everything that's going on in your life. Take responsibility for your actions. Then furthermore, the enemy is not bringing you to that place. Last time I checked, you know what I'm saying? You use your 2 legs and 2 feet to take you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You thinking about these things. It's nobody planting ideas in your mind that's making you do this thing. You feel me? You ultimately watched that video. You ultimately chose to go to that place. You ultimately are the decider. So can nobody control you except you? You letting these people do what they want to do in your life, that means you gave them the authority or the permission to. So ultimately, you are still to blame.
In a holy nation, you no longer feel like you're blood bought and that you're in right standing with the Lord. If you start to identify more with your sin, more with your temptations, more with the wrong type of crowd than you do with God and walking in the ways of the Lord, that's a sign that you're under spiritual attack.
So it's a sign that you under spiritual attack because you don't want to identify with God and you identify as something else. Now, first of all, you may be closer to being yourself because you're doing this shit. Not to say that it's good or bad, but what I am saying is it's thousands of religions. You don't have to necessarily, follow the Lord in order to find yourself, is what I'm getting at. People find themselves without following the white Jesus or the black Jesus or whatever the fuck you want to believe in. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily, oh, you're identifying with sin. Some people are born to be demons. That's just what it is. They accepted that shit and they going down like that. You know what I'm saying? Then when they go to church, they feel highly uncomfortable because it's not who they are. You see how that works? You know what I'm saying? Not to say that what they doing is right, but it's just not who they are. You feel me? Come on, ma'am.
It becomes an identity issue. Sign number 2, your thoughts become negative. This looks like you don't have faith. You don't have hope. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to feel weighed down, bogged down, discouraged. Everything seems like nothing is working out for you.
So you under spiritual attack because your thoughts become more negative. My thing is this. Dog, you automatically have negativity in you. Every single person on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Now, because you are more negative does not mean you are under spiritual attack, right? It could mean that you self-identify with negativity more. You feel more comfortable being a negative person. You feel more comfortable gossiping. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like I said, you need negativity and positivity to create life. You feel me? You cannot charge a battery without negativity and positivity, and inside of every human, we're just like cars. You feel me? So you cannot say, oh, because your thoughts are being more negative, you're under spiritual attack. What if vice versa, motherfucker? If somebody say you being more positive, they could say that you under spiritual attack, fam. That doesn't necessarily, you got to understand there's a necessary evil in this life, right? People don't perceive death to be good, but is that fucking negative? No, it's not. It just is. So stop trying to say you under spiritual attack because there is negative thoughts going through your mind. That don't mean that you under spiritual attack. That's just who you are, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that people that become negative are not under, they're not attacking themselves. But what I am saying is this. Everything ain't a spiritual attack, ma'am. You can attack yourself because you feel uncomfortable being another person. When you change to a new person, you start battling with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean, come on, ma'am.
Expectation on something and they're been hoping and hoping, but hope deferred makes the heart sick. If you feel like you've put your hope and expectation on something and there comes disappointment and discouragement and you feel like the hope has put you to shame, that's where the enemy has crept in.
If you put your hope in something, right? First of all, don't y'all Bible say faith without works is dead? You talking about putting your hope in something and you expect something to happen and it don't happen. It makes you fucking sad and defer. Dog, if you gonna put your hope in something, it's because you ultimately did not have a plan of action. You know what I'm saying? He who fails to plan plans to fail. So the reason why this shit is going south is because you didn't have a strong enough, a foundation for this shit to transpire. That's just what it is. Nothing can happen good in your life unless you pave the way for the shit. So basically what I'm getting at is, the road is not going to pave it motherfucking self. You can't drive down you're not going to get a BMW to drive in the wilderness until you pave a fucking road for the BMW to drive down. It's not just going to drop out the sky, man.
The enemy has crept in. You need to hope in the Lord so he will renew your strength. And if the spiritual attack is particularly intense, you'll start to hear voices, and you may even misidentify the voice and think that the voice of a demon or the voice of the enemy is actually your voice.
First of all, ma'am, that very well may be your voice. You understand what I'm saying? Do you ever listen to, music and all of a sudden you start saying the lyrics? Who's saying them lyrics? The nigga that made the song or you? You. So basically what I'm getting at is this. When you watch a scary movie, a lot of people self-identify as a demon after they watch the movie. Same thing with Spider-Man. Niggas want to be Spider-Man after they see Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden they got Spidey senses. You feel me? So ultimately, it's you that's creating these voices within your head. That's you. It's always been you. You know what I'm saying? You're just you're just getting, what's the word I'm looking for? You getting influenced by the shit that you watch and see and the people you talk to on a daily basis, and they ultimately help you create a new narrative in your life. You are the narrator. There's nobody else narrating your life for you, fam. That's just what it is. You want to blame and point the finger and not take responsibility for the shit that's going on in your life. Come on, ma'am. Stop it.
If you're all of a sudden hearing thoughts like, you're not good enough, I hate myself, you should just yourself, nobody likes you, nobody loves you, your life doesn't have purpose, you're too much. If you start to hear an overwhelmingly negative narrative,
that means you need to check your circle. You need to check the music you listen to. You need to check the movies that you watch. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, that's helping you design these ideas within your own mind. It's not no outside source that's just jumping inside of your body, man. This is not Danny Phantom.
Under attack from the enemy. Sign number 3 is that you are overcome with temptation. Now, we're humans. We live in these bags of flesh. Temptation will come. However, if it's coming to a point where it feels like temptation is overwhelming and it's concentrated in a short period of time,
that means you have invited whatever energy you wanted inside your life and you have let that motherfucker grow. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, you have become whatever energy source.
And many times an overwhelming sense of temptation will come right before a huge spiritual move of God, a huge spiritual outpour coming through you.
So basically, right before something good happens, something bad is going to happen because you are self-sabotaging. You understand what I'm saying? And you are addicted to distractions. So instead of doing what you need to do, you're going to alter your ideas or alter your thought process and go with what you don't need to do. Self-sabotaging.